National title game, UCLA pulls the upset of South Carolina.
UCLA is back on top of the women's basketball world.
ABC television with the call. The Bruins beat the Gamecocks 79-51. As you heard, that's national title number 1 for UCLA. They finished their season 37-1. The men's game gets the spotlight on Monday. Michigan and Connecticut getting together. Huskies gunning for a 3rd title in 4 seasons. The Wolverines have 1 title, which came all the way back in 1989.
That's Jay Berman. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Monday. It is April 6, 2026, and you're in tune with what is News Radio for South Texas, the Valley's Morning News. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz and AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. We actually got some weather to talk about. Actually, rain totals for the area. A little bit of rain in the region north of us in Ranch Country. You can see it on the Brownsville radar. We'll talk weather in about 3 minutes, so stick around. Weslaco doctor, 70-year-old James Robles, is facing federal charges for prescribing millions of pills, including some strong semi-synthetic opiate painkillers in exchange for millions of dollars in cash. Robles could face up to 20 years in prison for each of the 3 charges that he is currently facing. It's 7:06 on the Valley's Morning News. Watch your 6, more DPS and more cops likely looking at you this week. The Texas Department of Public Safety is amping up its trooper count as part of an annual campaign.
Each year, the Texas Highway Patrol conducts a distracted driving traffic enforcement campaign with the goal of ensuring drivers across the state are safe behind the wheel. During last year's campaign, the Texas DPS issued more than 79,000 citations and warnings for speeding, texting and driving, and failing to follow, move over, or slow down laws. There will be an increase in troopers on highways across the state from April 6th through April 13th. Officials say they're already seeing the consequences of distracted driving this year and say every driver has a responsibility to stay alert and follow traffic laws.
It's Alicia Nieves with that report at 7:07 on News Talk 710 KURV. Heads up, food safety officials are warning you to check the freezer. Some frozen chicken nuggets in the news after some tests found dangerous levels of lead. The U.S. Department of Agriculture and Inspection Service issued a public health alert. It's some dinosaur-shaped nuggets, ready-to-eat chicken nuggets sold under the Great Value brand at Walmart. There was no recall that was issued because they're not being sold right now. They were already sold. They might be in your freezer. The alert is for the 29-ounce bag of Great Value fully cooked dino-shaped chicken nuggets. And it has a best of use by date of February 10th, 2027. It's 7:08 on News Talk 710 KURV. And a new damning report on how expensive it is for taxpayers to pay the salary of some public workers.
The amount of tax dollars funding local government employees is skyrocketing.
Taxpayers are absolutely getting hosed every which way when it comes to local government salaries.
James Quintero with the Texas Public Policy Foundation says the average worker for the city of Austin is being paid twice as much as the city's median income. And in San Antonio, the head of the Harlandale School District is paid $630,000. That's tops in the state. This, he says, is why property taxes keep going up.
It's Michael Board with that report. It's 7:08 on News Talk 710 KURV. Tariffs on pharmaceuticals coming up. New tariffs on pharmaceuticals coming up right after AccuWeather. And first we say thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. As far as your animals, pets, and livestock and exotics, give them the best Purina nutrition that you will find at Martin Farm and Ranch, Monte Cristo in Edinburgh. AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina joining us. Okay, amigo, we got plenty of rain on Sunday, late Saturday. So some rain totals. What do you see? What happened this past weekend?
Yeah, anywhere from a little over an inch in Harlingen to almost 3 inches out by Reynosa. So McAllen got 2 3/4. Weslaco got 1.84. Yeah, some pretty good rain totals out there over the last couple of days.
It's a solid 3 inches. A dear friend of the station checked in. 16th and Daffodil. That's McAllen. 3.5 inches. And he's one of the more trusted weather spotters in the area. Yeah. So rain like this is in the forecast again near future, or what do you say? Would be nice to try to catch up to the rain.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, we get the chance for some thunderstorms and a couple of showers. So we'll see how that plays out as we get a little bit closer. Right now, it's just kind of a Thursday, a thunderstorm in parts of the area, and a couple of showers and a thunderstorm Friday. So it doesn't look all that promising, but we'll see how it plays out as we get a little deeper into the
We
week
have
here.
some rain north of us, Jason, up at the Border Patrol checkpoint in Ranch Country. How much longer until you turn off the spigot for this cycle?
Through the morning hours, by the afternoon, it should start to dry out. Yeah, looking at the radar, I can see some stuff across Hebronville and Falfurrias and off to the north there. A couple of very spotty showers across the south, but those are mostly drying up at this point.
Yeah, you're talking about south of us, right? In Mexico, saw some showers.
Yeah, there was some stuff coming across, through McAllen, Weslaco, over toward Harlingen too, but super, super light, just a sprinkle. And most of that, like I said, is just drying up as it moves westward or eastward, rather.
As a result of all these cool fronts, like the last 4, 5, prior to this one that actually delivered, this weekend was wonderful to see the forecast actually come through. The past 4 or 5, you know how it was, the same old cycle. Well, we got possible rain, and then poof, it disappeared on us right before. How confident are you? Would it be 2 days before, a day before you actually commit to saying, yeah, you know what, this cycle is going to be real. The rain's going to be real.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be high pressure parked off the East Coast, so we're kind of in the return flow on the backside of that. So you're talking about like a sea breeze type of, shower or thunderstorm as we head through Thursday and Friday. So it doesn't look, super widespread or very promising. It'll just be kind of a chance at this point. Friday, maybe a slightly better chance, but it doesn't look super promising for any kind of widespread rain like we picked up this weekend. It'd be more showery, if anything.
All right. And good forecast. So Jason Caterina from AccuWeather putting us in the upper 70s today, and likely tomorrow, low 80s at most. Wednesday, low 80s, like 80, 81, 79, 80, 81. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wonderful. And then again, back to a chance of a shower by Friday. All right, pal. Outside of National Caramel Popcorn Day, that's pretty much the only thing that we got on the menu for today.
I like that, though.
Yeah. Or Teflon. You know how it is. You scratch the Teflon. Maybe you'll eat some of the Teflon when you fry some eggs or something like that. That mimight be in your belly. But that's
if nothing sticks to Teflon, how does Teflon stick to the pan?
Well, hopefully it doesn't stick to you. if you tear it, because some people tear up some of those frying pans. Yeah, so you're not supposed to cut anything in the frying pan. All right, Bill. Call you next hour. That's okay. Other meteorologist Jason Caterina on 710 KURV. Wonderful forecast. So highs today, mid-upper 70s. Nice and cool tonight, back in the 50s. And temperature not rising much. What a wonderful week. So upper 70s, low 80s for the entire week. That's the call now, but maybe they'll change up weather in a couple of days. Time is 7:13 on the Valley's Morning News. The Trump administration is imposing new tariffs on pharmaceutical companies.
The White House says it will levy a 100% tariff on name brand medications and their active ingredients, with exceptions for companies that have committed to building U.S. manufacturing plants or struck trade agreements with the administration. Companies that lower the prices of their pharmaceuticals will also be eligible for lower tariffs. The move comes shortly after the Supreme Court ruled that many of the Trump administration's tariffs imposed last year were unconstitutional. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
A Waymo had to be rescued from weekend floodwaters up in central Texas in the San Antonio area after it got stuck. No passengers inside that vehicle, mercifully. And if you think you know how old you are, of course, you know your age as far as years, but there's a different age. There's a biological age. How old are you on the inside?
Yes, you know you were born on X date and how many trips you've taken around the sun, but it's what's happening at the cellular level that counts. And now there are test kits sold online for hundreds of dollars that determine biological age based on your body's wear and tear. Dr. Douglas Vaughn, the director of the Longevity Institute at Northwestern University School of Medicine, says these tests, some saliva-based, others blood-based, can figure out health span, which is the number of years you're likely to live without developing a chronic disease. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler.
And that Super Mario movie, the Galaxy movie, $190 million North American take. Yeah, they took some of our money this weekend too. The Wetcos wanted to see it, so I took a nap before I went to the movie. So I actually stayed awake this time. That was cute. A lot of cute little characters. That's all I liked about it. I didn't understand. Papas, they knew like all the inside stuff, right? Like, oh, look at that. Look at this. Okay. Oh, look at that's cute. Yeah. Time is 7:15. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. To catch up with our Far International Bridge, some of the development around it, the expansion for that bridge. When will they be complete and open up that expanded bridge? That's next on 710 KURV.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com. If you've ever dreamed of opening a business, expanding a business, or finally turning that side hustle into something real, Harlingen is ready to help you make it happen. The Harlingen Economic Development Corporation invites you to Let's Get Down to Business, a one-stop event designed to give entrepreneurs, startups, small business owners, commercial real estate pros, and investors the tools they need to succeed in one of the Valley's most business-friendly communities. It all happens Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Harlingen Convention Center, located at 701 Harlingen Heights Drive. You'll meet experts who can walk you through permits, incentives, site selection, financing, and everything in between, all under one roof. Whether you're just getting started or ready to grow, this is your chance to get real answers, real guidance, and discover the incredible potential Harlingen has to offer. For more information, call 956-216-5081. That's 956-216-5081. Let's get down to business in Harlingen.
This is your news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710, KURV, and KURV.com.
NCAA Men's Championship game. That would be tonight. UConn taking on Michigan. 6 p.m. broadcast on News Talk 710 KURV. Now to our Far International Bridge. Luis Basan is director of the Far Port of Entry and Exit. It's commercial, back and forth. Luis, welcome back. I noticed that the numbers for northbound traffic, north of 14%. What does that say to you as far as the strength of the economy? What's going on at Far?
Well, what's going on is we're crossing the majority of cargo through this bridge. You know, it's a primary area. It's a primary hub for trade. You just said it yourself, not just for northbound, but also for southbound. As a matter of fact, if you look at the southbound numbers, we're pretty much neck and neck, about 14 to 15% for the month of February 2026. As compared to February of last year. So doing good. One of the things we're also measuring is our 7-day moving average, which is basically cargo moving back and forth. And right now, depending on the week, depending on the day of the week, every 7 days, we're growing at about 5 to 7%. So that's looking very well. What that tells us is that, you know, commerce isn't stopping, regardless of tariffs, regardless of the rhetoric that's out there, regardless of what's going on. There's still a lot of movement because business needs to get done, right?
That's the number of trucks, right, Louis? You don't measure like tonnage or weight of trucks. That's number of trucks.
No, sir.
North of 14%, right?
That's correct. Number of trucks. So volume, truck volume, movement of trucks.
Any new clients, any new industry that's taking advantage of this entry point at Far that you know of?
We're seeing some. I can't name them right now, but we're seeing some new developments in the area. Obviously, you know, we're being able to capture new trade or new developments from other areas, and that's something that the EDC is working on. As far as our customers, we continue to move the same customers, but we are seeing new accounts being opened. As a matter of fact, I think right now our number of accounts, if our goal is 60 accounts for the year, we're at about 38 accounts right now that we've opened. So this could range anywhere from, let's say, 2 crossings to, I don't know, 5 to 10 to 15 crossings per month, per account, per customer.
Luis Bazan is director of the FAR Port of Entry, our commercial bridge here in Hidalgo County. The majority of the traffic that you see at the FAR Bridge, Louis, that's agriculture, right? That's fruits, veggies, things like that, right?
Not necessarily. So there's a split there, right? Because if you look at, we've always talked about volume, which is the number of trucks, but we also talk about value, right? Value of products that are crossing. If you look at the value, produce is of the least value. So we do cross a lot of medical supplies, technology, automotive supplies, things of that nature. So when you kind of break it all out, you're looking at about 75% of that is manufactured goods, about 18% on value, right? 18% is produce. And the remaining is other, right? Petroleum products and other.
Okay.
So it's not the majority. That's, I think, a misconception that everybody has. I know we pop our collars a lot and saying we're the number one produce bridge. We are. We continue to be the number one produce bridge and have been for the past 10 years. But that is not the only thing that we cross. There's many other industries that we service through this port of entry.
Sure. Going back to the number of trucks figure then. Ag versus maquila and factory and assembly line product, because yes, the assembly line product, that's as you mentioned, that's by dollar has a more value to it. But I'm guessing that there's lots and lots of trucks though coming in.
Every day.
Veggies and avocados and all those things. We've been up there twice over the past, I think, like 4 or 5 months. Our friend Joaquin Spalmer and CIL, they've opened huge refrigeration places, storage places, distribution places, and likely more on the way. Yeah.
So we were just sitting down with the Texas International Produce Association a few days ago on Monday, as a matter of fact. And for this last year, we crossed about 215,000 truckloads of fresh produce through here. So you're averaging anywhere from 15 to 20,000 truckloads, particularly during peak season. And right now we're kind of at the tail end of peak season. It kind of tails off at end of March, early April. And there's seasonalities, right? There's other products and things of that nature. But about, over 200,000 trucks that have moved through this bridge yearly, just fresh produce alone.
Over 200,000 trucks cross the international bridge at FAR. And about half of those.
Produce. Just produce.
Just produce.
Yeah, because we're doing about 1.2 million, 1.3 million trucks that cross through this bridge every year.
Luis Bazan is the director of our FAR Port of Entry, our commercial bridge. I know that I think you're almost done with a bridge expansion, right? Can you describe how it is expanding? Where are you in that project?
We're very close to the finish line. It's been a couple of years since we started construction. As I've mentioned before, Mexico finished their side of the bridge about a year ago now. They've been operational since then. We're at over 90% of the completion of the construction. We're working on the last phase, which is basically what I call the on-ramp. So as you enter the bridge, you pay your toll, you get on the bridge. That's the on-ramp. That's the next part of the project. We were hoping that we're going to be fully operational by May, if not June of this year. So again, over 90%. The binational boundary, which is the part that we built on top of the river that connects both bridges, both sides, we got that done in about a month. The crossover, which is basically the lane that connects the existing bridge to the new bridge, that was also done in a matter of weeks a few months ago. So we're just at the final leg. We're almost there.
I wanted 2 other topics I want to bring that you and I talked about off air briefly. Maybe you can expand on real quick. New partnerships. I think you're looking into how to work better with Mexican airports and some cargo. Can you explain that study that you want to do?
Absolutely. So all along, all through the last several years, one of the things that I think has set us aside is the fact that we're always looking for opportunities, right? Especially in times of difficulties and times of challenges. And we're not an intermodal bridge. We're not an intermodal hub because we don't have we don't have boats here. We don't have ocean freight. We don't have rail freight. But if we tie together and we form a partnership, right now we're working on a study. It's a market integration and logistics study so that we can see how feasible it is to connect the dots with the airport in Reynosa. And now Mexico, under the OMA jurisdiction, they have several airports, about 17 or 18 airports, Reynosa being one of them. They have a cargo permit, yet it's not utilized or it's underutilized. So how can we get that permit ramped up? How can we come into a partnership with them? And how can they use our facilities and our port of entry to move cargo, supplies back and forth, raw materials, whatever that may look like, right? Also rail, we've been in conversations with Rio Valley Switching. About 70% of the product, of the bulk product that comes on these trains, that's only moving east and west. About 70% is crossing into Mexico. The majority of that is going through our bridge. So how do we capitalize on that? What do we have to do? We partner up. We become intermodal. And we're also looking at capitalizing further on some of the things that are happening at the Port of Brownsville. We've had an MOU with the Port of Brownsville for several years. We're getting some great news from that area. So we want to see how can we rekindle that relationship. There's new leadership over there. How do we work with them? How do we move product from a boat to a truck across into Mexico through our bridge?
I was hoping you can expand on that. That was going to be my last question. Yes, sure. Because of previous mentions of this understanding you have with our Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville and, of course, the big bridge at FAR. With everything that is taking place, and you got some tier one suppliers that are about to benefit SpaceX, all these things that are happening. How do you see that relationship evolve? What products might we see? In your mind, what do you see that would be crossing from the port through your port, the bridge, sometime in the next 5+ years? Here,
well, that's what we're trying to figure out. So, there's. I call them heat maps, or I call them heat areas, or areas of growth. How do we get domestic supplies? How do we get domestic raw material into Mexico? What do we produce over there to bring it back, or vice versa, right? So that's why we're putting this study together, Sergio, so we can have a really good analysis and good understanding of what types of products. We're hearing a lot of things, right? We're hearing about microchips. We're hearing about, more automotive. We're hearing about, so there's a lot of components. And as the world keeps moving forward with AI and all of that, and that's a whole other conversation. I think there's going to be limitless supplies or limitless opportunities to capitalize on. But as far as right now, specific products, I can't speak on that behalf until we have this study done, right?
Sure. You were telling me that up in D.C., the week of April 6th onward, there's a powwow up in D.C. related to international ports, the crossings. Sure. What do you expect to come of that? What some funding, infrastructure? What's going to come of that?
Not for us. We're at the tail end, as I mentioned. Let me kind of explain. So the Triple BXG, or the Binational Bridges and Borders Crossings Group, this is the federal delegation, binational delegation. So you have your federal partners on the U.S. side and the Mexico side. They all sit at the table and they listen to you as if you're bringing in a new project, a new bridge, a new port of entry. In our case, it's basically all downhill from here. I've been going to these meetings for the past 10, almost 12 years now, and we've never asked for anything because we've always had the leadership. We've always had the funding, and we've always had the plans in place. So a lot of other bridges that do not have all those three things put together. So that's why they have to go to ensure that they're either giving the green light to move forward on a project, or a yellow light or red light to kind of stop and kind of reanalyze the situation or reassess where they're at. Because a lot of this, it's federal partners. So you have to understand there's still a deficit when it comes to federal workers, especially right now with government shutdowns, right? So what's happening is, in this case, CBP cannot hire officers fast enough. It's like a 17-month process, right? So what does that do? You're trying to open up other bridges. You're trying to open up other ports of entry. You're spreading yourselves very thin. You don't have the workforce to really work with, right? So in our case, again, it's just a matter of going out there, 5 minutes. Just here, this is where we're at. We're at over 90% complete. We're almost done with the project, and we're ready to become fully operational. Not asking for anything.
With a 14+% increase in northbound traffic at the FAR commercial bridge, FAR International Bridge, whenever they decide to open up on Salduas down the street, what this says to me is that, yeah, we got the traffic, we got the expanding economy, we got the expanding customer base. I know the numbers will likely change for you when it comes to some of that traffic, but things are growing, and there's probably some wealth to share and business to share as well.
Well, there's enough to go around for everybody, but it also depends on what you're doing to go capture it, right?
10-4. Louis, thank you. Be well, brother. That's Luis Bazan. He's the director of the FAR International Bridge. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. Artemis 2 crew is going to fly by the moon today.
NASA says the flyby will officially get underway at 2:45 p.m. Eastern and last several hours. While in their Orion spacecraft, the 4 astronauts will be taking pictures and making scientific observations as they come within 4,000 miles of the surface of the moon at their closest approach. They'll lose communications with ground control for about 40 minutes as they pass behind the moon on its dark side. It's during this flyby that the Artemis 2 crew will venture deeper into space than humanity has ever been before. The mission comes to an end Friday with a splashdown off the coast of Southern California. I'm Mark Mayfield.
President Trump has scheduled a noontime press conference to talk about the rescue of some American pilots. Their planes were shot down over Iran. It was a massive rescue effort. He'll talk about that and the war on Iran. Our own Dana Lash, she'll probably be featuring this at noontime during her show, the Dana Lash program, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on 710 KURV. And if you're into UFC, go ahead, Freddie. My Plates, that's the official vendor for personalized and specialty Texas license plates. Say they now have UFC branded plates if you'd like something like that. Your station for Astros baseball, News Talk 710 KURV. Check of sports up next. The awesome special limited time at every El Pato restaurant that is so good. The recipes are just like mom's recipes. If you were blessed enough to grow up in a Mexican household, you got a Mexican mom or abuelita, you got the Mexican rice, the refried or the ranchero beans. They're both awesome. The enchiladas are spicy. This is the green tomatillo sauce. It's a beautiful hue of green. Melted white cheese, the perfectly seasoned shredded chicken inside those soft enchiladas. So try them today. If you like spicy food, you're going to love the chicken enchiladas. Only $6.99 with a drink. And if you're hungry right now, yeah, you definitely need to either phone it in, which I do. I know where the El Pato locations are near me, or order online, elpato.com, and get yourself a bag full of delicious breakfast patos made the way you like them. Chorizo, potato, ham, bacon, refried bean, cheese, you name it, mix it all up. It's all good. Get yourself a bag full of breakfast tacos, breakfast patos right now. elpato.com.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in the Cal at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
Coming up after the Valley's Morning News, stay tuned for the Sergio Show starting at 9, followed by the Dana Lash Show at 11 on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Potomac app.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for men and women.
The Houston Astros had a wild affair last night with the Athletics. Houston struck first with a 2-run homer by Yordan Alvarez in the 5th inning.
Alvarez punishes one deep to right. Cortez is back, looking up. See you later! Over the Astros bullpen and onto the grassy curve. Yordan Alvarez, a 2-run shot. His 4th home run of the year. 2-0 Astros.
Call courtesy of Astros Radio Network, but the Athletics answered right back, scoring 5 in the 5th for a 5-3 advantage. Houston tied it back up in the 7th with a 2-run bomb by Christian Walker, but the seesaw continued as the Athletics scored 4 in the 7th, followed by Houston's 4 in the 8th. The game ended up going to 10 innings where Brent Rooker called game.
The 2-0 to Rooker. And that is belted deep to left field, and you can kiss that one goodbye. Brent Rooker, his 2nd home run of the game, is a walk-off 3-run blast, and the A's defeat the Astros in 10 innings, 12-10.
With the loss, Houston is now 6-4 in the year with their next game tonight against the Rockies with first pitch scheduled for 7:40. It was a rough start for the Texas Rangers homestand as they lost their first 3 games to the Cincinnati Reds, including yesterday's loss with the final score of 2-1. Jack Leiter got the start and he had a solid outing. Leiter went 5 innings, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits, striking out 9. The Texas Rangers now sit at 4-5 on the season, and they'll take on Seattle tonight, with first pitch scheduled for 7:05. And the Dallas Mavericks had a hard-fought win last night, defeating the Los Angeles Lakers 134-128. The Mavs are now 25-53 on the season, with their next game tomorrow against the Los Angeles Clippers, with tip-off scheduled for 9:30. With your Texas in the Morning Sports Report, I'm Dylan Moore.
And a program note for tonight, it's UConn taking on Michigan, the NCAA Men's Championship game, right here on 710 KURV. AccuWeather says, real nice weather forecast. Check this out. Upper 70s for highs today. Back to the 50s tonight. Right now it's 57, 58 degrees across the valley. And tomorrow, upper 70s, perhaps low 80s again. Same thing Wednesday, low 80s, like 80, 81. Thursday, same thing, 81, 82. So it's going to be nice and cool. By Thursday, maybe we'll see a return of thunderstorm activity in the area. Border Bridge wait times, as posted on KURV.com. Let's refresh the numbers. Refresh it. Let's see what we've got. 20 minutes in San Luis. Same thing at Hidalgo. Less than 10 minutes at Far. And if you're headed back to Brownsville, who's busy right now? 1 hour at Gateway. 45 at Veterans. Business news and a check of your money. That's next on 710 KURV. And speaking of business, taking care of business, Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, they would like to meet you, the business owner, the property manager, for free, give you an expert inspection of what's going on with your commercial roofing system. Got quite the test this past weekend. Hope you guys did well. Maybe some of y'all might be going back to the office, opening up. Oh, crud, what happened? You look up to the ceiling tiles. Oh, man. We should have taken Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing on that free offer to check the roofing system. Well, it's not too late. You better call. Let's say you see some wet tiles this morning at your building. Well, you better call Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing. Maybe they can do a quick repair for you. Take care of business. You got the top team, man. Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing, almost 130 years of experience. Expanded services, the valued warranties that you expect, cutting-edge roof installation and repair technology. Yes, it's in the name. Advanced waterproofing solutions. Trust them with any repair you might need after all this rain. And if, like I've been telling you, get a free inspection. That way you know how strong or weak your commercial system is by the top experts. Chamberlain Roofing Waterproofing. Call them, text them for that appointment, 956-655-6178.
They said copies for a penny couldn't be done. We said, watch us. Total Imaging Solutions. We're flipping the script on printing. Whether you're a small business or a big operation, it doesn't matter. If you need a printer or copier, Total Imaging Solutions has the right printer for you. You get the printer for a simple monthly fee and copies, just a penny or less a page. No ink or toner charges. No surprise service fees, just clear, honest pricing. And if your old printer's slowing you down, we'll trade it out and level you up. Whether you print just a couple of copies a day or need the next New York Times press, we can help. Plus, if anything ever breaks, our team will have you up and running in under 4 hours. Easy printing, fast service, real savings. That's the penny or less revolution. Call 956-664-2113 or visit copiesforapenny.com. That's copiesforapenny.com. Total Imaging Solutions, helping your business one penny at a time.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Universal Pictures and Nintendo's The Super Mario Galaxy movie posted the biggest opening this year yet. The film made roughly $372.5 million in worldwide box office sales. Comscore data says that the total domestic box office in 2026 is up 26% from a year earlier. While a relatively good problem to have, a large 401k balance can present certain challenges for the unwary. Financial planners say savers risk becoming retirement rich but cash poor while they are still working. In retirement, big balances can trigger significant required withdrawals. Oil prices are lower this morning after President Trump gave Iran until tomorrow evening to open the Strait of Hormuz or, quote, face hell. West Texas Intermediate currently sitting at $110 per barrel, Brent hovering at $108 per barrel. Futures are mixed as Iran and the U.S. try for a ceasefire. Reminder, markets were closed on Friday in honor of the holiday. On Thursday, the Dow Industrials lost 61. That's Your Money Now.
And check the freezer for some frozen chicken nuggets. U.S. Department of Agriculture Inspection Service issuing a public health alert. You need to look for some dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets that were sold under the Great Value brand at Walmart. There's no recall being issued because they're not being sold anymore. The nuggets are at market, probably in freezers everywhere. There's concern that these chicken nuggets, tests found high levels of lead in those nuggets. The alert applies to 29-ounce bags of Great Value, fully cooked, dino-shaped chicken breast nuggets used by date February 10th, 2027. AccuWeather says highs today, beautiful forecast. My goodness, we got a little bit of rain north of us in Ranch Country. You can see it on the Brownsville radar. Highs today should be in the upper 70s. Wow. Lows tonight back to the 50s, 53 to 59 the range tonight. Right now it's 57 to 58 degrees. Brownsville, Starbase, the Port of Brownsville, Harlingen, McAllen, Edinburgh Mission, 57, 58 at the moment. Thank you for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV. Up next, the latest from Fox News at Radio Para Mi. Download the free app. Listen on your smartphone. JP and Jeff at Amigo Power Equipment with a reminder. Check the calendar. So this coming Friday, is the big Kubota Orange Day celebration on campus at Amigo Power Equipment. Of course, you got awesome deals, $5,500 off select compact tractors. They got 0% financing available if you qualify. But on campus, it's like a party atmosphere. They're going to probably fire up the grill and have some great refreshments and also some hot dogs. I know they do that from year to year. So go and enjoy the Kubota Orange Day celebration this coming Friday on the campus at Amigo Power Equipment. Amigo Power, your Kubota dealer, now through June 30th. Again, 0% financing available. Save up to $5,500 off select compact tractors. You can get a lot of information at gokubota.com. But the big networking opportunity, go see your pals, all the gang out there at Amigo Power Equipment this Friday for Kubota Orange Day celebration at Amigo Power Equipment, Edinburgh on Monte Cristo.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drt'sprimarycare.com.
Your winning partner is News Talk 710 KURV. We deliver real results with a powerful mix of radio, social media, promotions, and live endorsements from the Rio Grande Valley's most trusted influencers and on-air personalities. Your brand will be heard, seen, and connected everywhere. Our expert multimedia marketing team will build a strategy to make this your best summer yet. Call 956-992-8895 or visit radiounited.com and team up with News Talk 710 KURV for winning results this summer.
Information on your town and your community.
The Valley's Morning News.
News Talk 710 KURV.
It's the Pulse of the 956. It is News Talk 710 KURV. Appreciate you joining us on the radio. Hope you can find us on your smartphone too. We're at the free app called Radio Para Mi. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz, AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Catarina, who says that we got a beautiful forecast. In fact, the week, compared to the heat the past several weeks, it's going to be nice. Highs today, upper 70s. Lows tonight back into the 50s, and that's where we are right now, 57, 58 degrees across South Texas. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump will be joined by his top military officials.
The president has received so much interest, so many questions regarding this mission that he's actually holding the press conference scheduled for 1 p.m. today in the briefing room. He's expected to get into the details of the decision-making behind this and where the conflict stands today.
Fox's Alexander Hoff at the White House, a top official taken out.
Majid Kadimi, the head of IRGC intelligence, I am told by a senior Israeli official, was killed early this morning in a strike against the Iranian capital. He was also behind the intelligence for the attacks against U.S. forces and allies across the region.
Fox's trading in Tel Aviv, less than 48 hours till the next deadline for Iran to get to the peace table, or else. That from President Trump. But there's word today of a three-nation plan for a 45-day ceasefire and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. America's listening to Fox News.
Watch your back, watch your sides as you're driving. There might be DPS eyes on you this week. Drivers across Texas can expect to see increased traffic patrols by DPS. Texas Highway Patrol will conduct its annual Distracted Driving Traffic Enforcement campaign. Authorities will be on the lookout for individuals who are texting and driving and failing to move to one side or slow down for emergency vehicles. A Weslaco doctor, a 70-year-old James Robles, is facing federal charges for allegedly prescribing millions of pills, including strong semi-synthetic opiate painkillers, in exchange for millions of dollars in cash, according to federal authorities. Robles could face up to 20 years in prison for each of the three charges he is facing. Latest jobs report from the Labor Department late last week showing employers added 178,000 jobs last month. That is three times more than had been expected.
This report takes into account the first 2 weeks of the conflict with Iran. It'll be really interesting now looking into the next report. That'll take into account the duration of this conflict. If this number shifts upwards or downwards, war doesn't tend to spark a hiring frenzy. But so far in this report, it shows that our economy and our labor market was resilient even amid the conflict.
That's reporter Alicia Nieves. And one of the big stories for the day, Artemis 2. The crew will fly by the moon.
NASA says the flyby will officially get underway at 2:45 p.m. Eastern and last several hours. While in their Orion spacecraft, the four astronauts will be taking pictures and making scientific observations as they come within 4,000 miles of the surface of the moon at their closest approach. They'll lose communications with ground control for about 40 minutes as they pass behind the moon on its dark side. It's during this flyby that the Artemis 2 crew will venture deeper into space than humanity has ever been before. The mission comes to an end Friday with a splashdown off the coast of Southern California. I'm Mark Mayfield.
They'll find Pink Floyd on that side of the moon, right, Freddie? That's where they'll find. Yeah, right. And this past weekend, $190 million, that Super Mario Galaxy movie that I'm sure your kids dragged you to that one. $190 million that was just the North American take. Time is 7:48. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. We invite you to join us at Radio Para Mi. It's the free app, and that way you can listen to the Valley's Morning News on your smartphone. Happy Monday. Whatever the reason may be, perhaps you need to leave the market like now or like yesterday. Family issues. Maybe you got a new job and they say, you need to show up like now. If you need to sell quickly, you need to sell your home quickly. The only team that you should trust is the only team I'm going to trust. It's the Ryan and Brian real estate team. They have the team to take care of business, an aggressive marketing approach, and providing you several options. For example, Abel needed to sell his home here in Edinburgh quick, had to move out of town. So Jessica with the Ryan and Brian real estate team assured him of the options. For example, Let's meet your timeline. There's a cash offer. Take the cash offer. Sell your home. No need to wait. No need for showings. No need to repair this, that, and the other to get it ready for market. No, cash offer. That's one of the options. Also, able to list the traditional way if you wanted to. The Ryan and Bryan real estate team guarantees if you and the Ryan and Bryan team can come to an agreement on price and date, if that home is still in the market, they'll sop up your home from you. The Ryan and Bryan real estate team fired up their marketing system for Abel and brought in the buyers he needed on his timeline and sold for top dollar. Very, very happy. This could be you, amigo. Call the Ryan and Bryan real estate team. Get your house sold guaranteed. Ask them about that at 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbryan.com. That's ryanandbryan.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Bryan. Go to ryanandbryan.com.
Hi there, my name's Tony Bolstead. My wife and I, Carol, own Sand Monsters. We'd like you to come on out and have fun. We've got a half-mile long track out here. It runs across about 3.5 acres. Have adult cars and kid cars, getting laps in, learning how to drive on the sand. And we also lease space to Redline Helicopters, is one of our tenants here, and they've got a pad and they do helicopter tours. Lone Star National Bank and the team there really helped us get this thing put together, answered all our questions, huge help.
I am Stephanie Harrison. I am the second generation owner of